In 1969, Dodge released the Challenger. It was a smaller, more nimble muscle car than the Charger. It also featured the same engines, but with less weight, which made them faster. It shared the Chrysler chassis and many of its parts with the Plymouth Barracuda. The Challenger is famed for having featured in the 1971 film Vanishing Point. Where the Charger sold over 700,000 models in its life, only 165,000 Challengers were built over a 5-year production run. During the 1970s oil crisis, many of Dodge's models were viewed as uneconomical. The Chrysler Group was slower in its response to releasing economy models than Ford and General Motors had been. It released its own versions of some Mitsubishi models to speed up the release of such cars, such as the 1978 Mark II Challenger that was simply a rebadged Mitsubishi Galant. 1978 also saw the release of the Dodge Omni. It was the first front-wheel drive economy car to be built in the United States. It was sold under the Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth, Simca and Talbot brands. In total, 2.5 million of these models were sold under all 5 brands. It was also the first compact car in the world to feature a trip computer, using calculators fitted to the fuel tank, mileometer and clock. It was able to provide the driver with information based on average speed and fuel consumption. 1980 saw the introduction of the Dodge Ram, the famous pickup that eventually became its own brand, simply being known as Ram trucks. The original featured 6 and 8-cylinder engines and stayed in production for 13 years. In 1982, Dodge released a coupe pickup, the Rampage, similar in concept to the Subaru Brat. It featured a 2.2-litre 4-cylinder and weighed little over a ton. It only stayed in production until 1984. 1991 saw the launch of Dodge's new Halo model, the Viper. It featured an 8-litre V10 that produced 400 horsepower and could see the Viper hit 60 in 4 seconds. It didn't feature ABS or traction control, and it could catch out unskilled drivers even in the dry. 1994 saw the launch of the second generation Dodge Ram. It was significantly bigger than the first version. It featured V6 and V8 engines up to 5.9 litres in size, and even came with the option of the 8-litre V10 from the Dodge Viper. 2002 saw the release of the third generation Viper. It was fitted with a larger 510 horsepower 8.3-litre V10 and had a top speed of 193 miles an hour. It could hit 60 in 3.7 seconds. The fourth generation of 2007 saw the Viper launch with a 600 horsepower 8.4-litre V10 and had a top speed of 202. 2005 saw Dodge renew the Charger name, this time on a saloon that was closely related to the Chrysler 300C. In 2015, the Charger SRT Hellcat became the world's fastest production saloon, with a 204 mile/h top speed and the ability to hit 60 in 3.4 seconds, thanks to a 707 horsepower 6.2-litre supercharged Hemi engine. In 2007, Dodge launched the Caliber, a compact SUV similar in size to the Nissan Qashqai. It featured a range of 4-cylinder petrol and diesels and was sold in Europe and North America. 2008 saw Dodge release its new Challenger to rival the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro. When it was released, it cost little over $40,000. Over its 16-year life, there have been many variants of the Challenger with a range of V6 and V8 engines. At the top of the range sat the Challenger SRT Demon 170. It produced 1,025 horsepower and is the only production car that creates over 2 Gs of launch force. It's the fastest accelerating production car in the world, with a 0 to 60 time of 1.6 seconds, despite costing less than $100,000. It can cover a quarter mile in 8.9 seconds and received a ban from the National Hot Rod Association for setting a sub 9-second quarter mile time without being fitted with a parachute. 2013 saw the launch of the 5th and final generation of the Viper. It's the fastest yet, with 650 horsepower from its 8.4-litre V10. It has a top speed of 206 miles an hour. In 2023, Dodge launched the Hornet SUV. It's based on the Alfa Romeo Tonale and featured either a 2-litre turbocharged variant or a 290 horsepower plug-in hybrid. It's praised for its interior quality, practicality and performance. Dodge is currently in the process of launching the newest version of the Charger. It will be sold as both a coupe or liftback and feature high-performance 3-litre turbo engines with up to 550 horsepower, as well as electric variants with up to 670. It will cost from $62,000 when it goes on sale later this year.